Sorry about that, babe.
Alright guys, welcome back to another unboxing. This time we're going to be taking a look at Zelda II: The Adventure of Link on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, full disclosure, I got a new iPhone which we will be using to record these unboxings, and I was originally going to use the microphone that was built in, but honestly, just the sound quality is not as good, you know what I mean? Obviously it sounds way better with my current microphone, and you might be wondering why aren't I using that microphone for this live? Well, it's because my current setup, it doesn't jive well, so I have to do the voiceover afterwards. I kind of record these things on the floor, believe it or not. But anyways, guys, taking a little bit more of an in-depth look here at the box, because there's not too much to this unboxing, but I did want to do it to kind of chronicle the game, you know, as a whole. As you can see, it's part of the Classic series, which is basically the greatest hits, if you will. This is a re-release of the game. It is not a gold cartridge, it's actually gray, which we will see in a little bit. The Hyrule fantasy continues. Nearly 2 million players have taken the challenge and entered the world of Hyrule for the second time. More items, more magic, more mysteries and puzzles await them in Zelda II: The Adventure of Link. The land of Hyrule is in chaos. As Link, you'll be sent on a treacherous journey to return 6 precious crystals to their origins in 6 stone statues. Only by defeating the guardians of the 6 palaces will you gain passage to the 7th palace to wake Princess Zelda from her sleeping spell. On your way, helpful villagers will offer clues, secret messages invaluable in your quest. On your journeys, close-ups and overviews will enhance your video vision. To help you keep up with the action, Link is programmed to remember everything you find on your journey, so you never have to start your search empty-handed. So basically what that's referring to is the fact that it includes a battery-backed memory. As you can see right there, it allows you to save your game, you lose whatever extra experience you had, and you start right there in the second picture in the palace with sleeping slash whatever cursed Princess Zelda. I can't remember the story off the top of my head. But let's take an actual look at the contents of the game. Like I said, it's nothing crazy. It's not like other RPGs where you're going to get like tons of maps and charts and everything like that. But you see we have a nice official Nintendo sleeve here, dust sleeve, and a pretty good instruction manual, which I used throughout my playthrough. We'll go over that as well in a little bit. And here you can see the aforementioned gray cartridge for the Adventure of Link, not the gold one. I actually prefer the gray ones, I'm not gonna lie. There's something weird about it. I don't know why. A lot of people probably, you know, prefer the gold ones because it's so iconic. But there's something about the simplicity of the grayness of it that I don't know, tickles my fancy. And here we're messing around with the iPhone to try to get a little bit better focus. We're not quite able to get a little bit better there, but eventually I just kind of give up. As you could probably expect with an iPhone, it's not like a perfect camera, but there we go, we're out of focus again, so bam, a little touch, and we're in focus. So the instruction manual is actually in pretty good shape. It has a little bit of moisture damage. This was purchased in a gigantic lot that I got last July of 2021, and some of the stuff was water slash moisture damage. Not too bad though. So in order to get you started on your journey, the instruction manual has a pretty cool intro comic in a sense. I think it goes up to like page 12 or 14 where it's giving you pretty much the backstory leading up to Zelda 2, which I probably should actually read. I'll be honest with you, I never really read it. I think I read it way back in the day, but obviously in one ear and out the other, and I hadn't played it until recently for the playthroughs that you guys have seen on the channel already by the time this video comes out. But it's pretty cool stuff. I like the artwork, and it gives you a lot of background information and lore before you head up into your journey. And the guide itself, not guide, the instruction manual serves as sort of like a guide. It's not really like a strategy guide or anything like that, but it gives you the lowdown, including some pretty cool maps as you saw there. Kind of an illustrated version of Hyrule. You know, same old standard stuff here, laid out very well, very 80s, colorful and vibrant, kind of going over starting your saves and the HUDs on the screen and the various terrains and landscapes that you will be finding throughout Hyrule on your journey. As well as, like I said, it's not really a strategy guide, but it kind of does give you the lowdown and the lay of the land of the starting areas. You get another map actually coming up in a little bit in the manual, going over the enemy encounters that you could have here. There is a strong enemy, which is denoted by the bigger one, and then the blob is sort of representing the weaker enemy, although at times the weaker enemy could actually give you more experience, so go figure. And then briefly going over the fight screen and the fight mechanics, as well as, you know, what types of enemies drop what type of experience and that type of stuff, and what to do with the experience, which comes into play with the leveling system, which goes up to 888. As you can see, attack, magic, and life. In my opinion, attack is the most important one of the bunch. Make sure to level that one up as quickly as possible. And then we're going to go over here the different types of enemies you can find in the different terrains and landscapes. The desert, to me, has always been one of the weirder ones. The Geldarm or Geldarm I always found to be one of the more interesting enemies in the game, in my opinion. I don't really have a particular reason why, I just always felt like they kind of stood out. The swamps are always interesting because even on the overworld you move slower in them, but I find that the action sequences are pretty good for experience, they're pretty easy. The graveyards, on the other hand, those are freaking nightmares. I can't stand those. If I get in those fights, I am clenching my butt cheeks. I actually almost died, I believe, in my no-death run in one of the graveyards. It's quite brutal. But as you can see, if you do die, your game is not over. You do have the ability to continue back from the original palace with Princess Zelda. Now we're getting into some of the obstacles and weapons that you'll be finding along the way, getting in the way of Link's journey. However, as you saw there briefly, the fairy will heal you, and you can find that throughout the game as well. Going over the stuff that you can do while you're in the town, talking to people, healing up, healing your magic, finding magic spells and items. It's advisable to talk to most people. You even get some funny dialogue here and there, such as, "I am Error." Yes, I know it's his name. Still funny. And then the main shtick of the game is all the palaces. So it's talking about entering the palaces, giving a brief overview of the labyrinths that you will find throughout the 7 of them, which ultimately, as you can see, the final one is the Great Palace, which requires you to get 6 crystals placed within the previous 6 palace stone statues. And here is a pretty nifty and cool looking map of the beginning of the game. This will kind of casually get you anywhere between, I don't know, maybe an hour to 2 hours in. It kind of cuts off before you get to Death Mountain. And then over here, you will find the various magic spells that Link can learn throughout his quest. I think I've ruminated on this before. I don't think you need to learn all of them. Like, for example, you do not need fire in order to beat the game, but it is helpful. And then one of the final pages of the instruction manual here is going over the various items that you'll find throughout your quest, as well as drops from enemies. The items on the right are things that are very important, like the raft gets you to Eastern Hyrule, the handy glove allows you to break blocks, so on and so forth. Where the left side, more optional stuff, you know, heart and magic upgrades, Link dolls for 1-ups, so on and so forth. And then kind of ending things here with another brief overview of things that you could do on your controller. So that's about it for Zelda II: The Adventure of Link. Like I said, not the most illustrious of unboxings, but you know what? An unboxing nonetheless. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next unboxing. Take care.